Hey guys, welcome to Midnight Confessions, where I share real horror stories that'll make you question what's out there. Every story you hear on this channel is written by me, based on true events I have experienced or come across. No AI junk, no recycled creepypasta. Just raw, unsettling stories tell the way they happened. If you are into weird, creepy, or just flat-out terrifying stuff, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It seriously helps a ton and lets me keep bringing you more late-night scares. So go ahead, turn the lights down, maybe grab a blanket and get ready because tonight's stories are seriously messed up. Let's start with the story. I don't mess with that kind of thing, the supernatural, because I don't like rolling the dice on what might come through, but if you do, just be smart, be safe, and always keep your guard up. I have a few more stories from my past, paranormal stuff, but none of it happened to me directly. A close friend of mine, she stayed in a haunted dorm. Yeah, things got real strange for her. I'll share more of those at some point, but for now, I hope this one will do even if it doesn't end up in a video. Thanks for listening to me, Midnight Confessions. Here's the thing about my cat, she's not my cat anymore. Honestly, I was in tears when I wrote this. It's still hard to even think about. To some maybe it doesn't seem like much, but to me, it's everything. I don't talk about this openly, hell, I don't talk about it at all. It makes me feel like I'm losing my mind just retelling it. I live in a small forgotten town in the Appalachian Mountains. It's the kind of place most people don't know about, and honestly that's probably for the best. It's isolated, a place where time feels like it's standing still, but something darker, something older lingers. I have a cat, her name is Olive. I rescued her when she was just a baby, couldn't have been more than a week old. I found her all alone, abandoned, curled up in the cold. I thought I was saving her, giving her a good life, but now I'm not so sure. I used to think she was just a cat, but the way things have been, I don't know how to explain it. She's not the same anymore, and it's been getting worse. Her eyes were shut tight, she didn't even open them. When I found her, someone had just dumped her, left to die by the river at the back of my yard. Out of the litter, she was the only one still breathing. I buried the others myself up by the old oak tree, marking their tiny graves with a broken branch. I didn't expect her to survive. Not after what happened, but I wasn't about to let her go. I bottle-fed her, nursed her back to life, as if she were my own child. She stayed close to me, tucked inside my hoodie, against my chest as I raised her. Since May 8, 2021, we'd been inseparable. She was my companion, my little shadow, always by my side, but then, one day she just vanished. No warning, no sound, she was gone. I searched everywhere, not a trace. I thought maybe someone had come by and taken her, but that didn't make sense. My road leads to a dead end. Only UPS drivers, postal workers, and the occasional FedEx truck ever come down here. No one else. I first noticed she was gone when she didn't show up for breakfast. At first I figured she was hiding somewhere, maybe off chasing birds through the woods again. She loved catching them, then bringing them to me as if I were the one who needed them. I called for her, over and over, but no response. I checked the river. I walked up the trails. I even put out food, hoping she'd show up. But for days nothing. My nights were consumed by worry. I couldn't sleep. I sat on the porch alone, tears soaking into the wood. I know it's strange for a man to cry over a cat, but she had saved me in ways no one else could. She pulled me out of a darkness I didn't think I could crawl out of. I prayed for her, hoped for her return. I imagined her trotting out of the trees like nothing had happened, but she never did. Then, on the 8th day, she came back. But she wasn't her anymore. Not completely. It was just before sunrise. I was sitting on the porch, smoking a cigarette, when I saw her. At first I was flooded with relief, like a weight I didn't know I was carrying had been lifted. I was almost in tears when I stood up to go to her, but the moment I started walking toward her, that's when it hit me, the smell, the stench. It was unbearable. It felt like something inside me burned from the inside out. It was so bad, I could almost feel my nose hair singeing. I stopped dead in my tracks. And that's when I saw it. She was staring at me, but not in the way she used to. Her eyes, they weren't her eyes anymore. Something was wrong. Something was very wrong. The smell hit me first like nothing I'd ever experienced. It was worse than anything I could put into words. Imagine rotting meat, burnt hair, sour milk and spoiled eggs, all mixed together and left out in the sun to bake. It was a stench so foul that it burned my nostrils and had my eyes watering. I could barely breathe. When I got closer, I saw her. Her fur was matted, tangled, and sticky as if she'd been rolling in something long dead, something that had been festering for weeks. But it was her eyes that made my stomach twist. They weren't the eyes I knew. The eyes I used to love so much. They looked like olives, pale and wide, but there was something lurking behind them. Something that didn't belong. It was as if she wasn't really there anymore. Like her body was a shell, and something else was wearing her, using her like a puppet. She moved strangely, jerking and twitching, like she'd forgotten how to walk. I called her name, hoping it was just some horrible nightmare. But she didn't blink. She didn't make a sound. Her eyes stayed locked on me, unblinking, staring wide like she had seen something that shattered her soul. Then, in a slow, unnatural motion, her head tilted. Too far. Too unnaturally far. The movement was wrong, like something not meant for this world was trying to mimic a cat. And I stood there, paralyzed, feeling the creeping terror crawl up my spine, knowing deep down that this wasn't my cat anymore. I whispered her name one last time, and the thing tilted its head further until I heard the sickening crack of bone. That was 3 years ago, and every night since, I still hear scratching at my door, but I'll tell you about what else I've encountered in these cursed mountains tomorrow, so goodbye for now. Let's start another story. That's when Jackie completely lost it. I should have mentioned him earlier. Jackie's my dog, my service dog, a pit mix. He's one of the sweetest dogs you'll ever meet. Loves people, loves cats, just a big ol' sweetheart, but he's also fiercely protective when he needs to be, and I mean, the kind of protective that sends chills down your spine. He never growls unless there's a damn good reason for it. I remember the night before, he was pacing by the door, whining non-stop. At first, I thought it was just anxiety, maybe missing Olive. Those two were inseparable, and I figured he was upset that she was gone. But when she finally came back, everything changed. Jackie went into full-on defense mode. He didn't bark, no, it was worse. He started growling. Low, guttural growls that seemed to come from deep in his chest. His hackles shot up, and his teeth were bared, glistening in the dim light. I had never seen him like this before. It was like something primal had taken over him. He broke through his dog door, smashed through it, and planted himself right between me and her. He wouldn't budge. I tried to step around him to get closer to Olive, but the moment I tried to move past him, he snapped not at me, but right between us, as if to say, stay the hell away from her. I froze. That's when I realized she hadn't blinked not once since I first saw her standing at the edge of the porch. Her eyes were wide, unblinking, locked onto me like she was waiting. And that's when it hit me, this wasn't her. I did something stupid, then something I'll regret for the rest of my life. I let her in. I let whatever that thing was walk into my house. Jackie followed, but he didn't let his guard down. He stayed close behind her, never once taking his eyes off her. His tail was rigid, his body low, ready to pounce. Every muscle in his body was tense, like he was about to snap at any moment. He wasn't whining anymore. He was growling, constantly, like a warning that never stopped. A warning I should have listened to, but I didn't, and now I can't stop wondering if I had, maybe things would have been different. My baby Olive, or whatever the hell that thing was, walked in like she owned the place, and it unsettled me immediately. Same path she always took, but something was off. Her body didn't move right. I kept catching flashes of it. Her back legs were stiff like a deer that had just been shot, struggling to move. Her joints were bending in unnatural directions, the kind of angles that made my stomach churn. Her paws hit the floor too hard. Too loud. Cats are supposed to glide silently, but she was thumping, dragging herself like something far too heavy. I kept telling myself that maybe she'd been through hell, that something had scared her, or maybe she was just hurt. But deep down my gut twisted, and I could feel Jackie's anxiety mounting too. He wasn't having it, and neither was I. Then she jumped onto the back porch just like she always did, but this time she missed. She never missed that jump. Cats don't miss jumps like that, but she did. And when she hit the edge of the porch, it wasn't graceful. She slammed into it, thudded like she didn't even know how to land. Her claws scraped uselessly against the wood, her body scrambling like it had forgotten what it was supposed to do. And then she just laid there. She twisted in the strangest way, her head turning too far, staring at me like a wild predator sizing up its prey. I thought I saw a flicker of recognition in her eyes, but it was wrong. Something was missing. And that's when she tried to meow. It didn't sound like her. Not at all. It was off. Have you ever heard a recording of someone's voice where the tone's just wrong? Like an AI trying to imitate something but getting the pitch all wrong, dipping at the end until it makes your stomach lurch. That's exactly how it sounded, a perfect mimic, but missing something so vital, so human, that it felt unnatural, wrong, like she was trying to remember how to be a cat but couldn't quite pull it off. And that was it. That's when the terror hit me. I froze. For just a moment, I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. My heart was pounding, but my body wouldn't listen. I knew deep down whatever had come back wasn't her anymore. She was staring at me, not blinking, like she wanted something. And then I swear to God on my brother's grave, she smiled, a smile that wasn't hers. It sent ice through my veins. My instincts screamed at me to get away, but my legs were barely working. Not much in this world scares me, but that terrified me down to my core. I started backing up inch by inch, praying I could just make it to safety. Finally, what felt like hours later, I reached my hallway. Jackie was right behind me, growling low and deep like he could feel the darkness crawling in. I didn't dare take my eyes off of Olive or whatever she was now as I moved slowly toward my closet. I grabbed the rifle, my .22. It wasn't fancy, just an old thing I used for shooting rabbits that kept tearing up my garden. But I had no idea what I was planning to do. I didn't want to hurt her. Not if, by some slim chance, it was her, but everything in me was screaming that. Something was wrong, something was so wrong. The air felt thick, like static pressing against my skin, making every nerve stand on edge. I turned my head just enough to check the door, making sure it was still unlocked. When I turned back, she was gone. Gone, not on the porch, not in the house. She just vanished. And that's when Jackie. He went absolutely apeshit. His nose pressed to the door, clawing at it like he was trying to warn me of something. I couldn't see, so I stepped out onto the porch, my rifle in hand. Jackie was right beside me, and the moment I stepped out, the woods went silent, completely silent. The woods around here are never quiet. You can always hear something, birds, deer, something moving. But this was different. It was a silence so thick, so deep, it felt like the world itself was holding its breath. And then I saw her, or it. I'm still not sure what it was. She tilted her head again, that same awful angle, unnatural, twisted, and then she stood up. Not like a cat. She stood up like something else, slowly straightened her back. And then she started walking toward me. Walking upright, meowing, trying to meow. But this time, it wasn't even close. It was deep, broken, like someone was trying to imitate a sound they barely remembered, but they couldn't get it right. Every bone in my body screamed at me to run, but I couldn't move. All I could do was watch her get closer. I raised my .22, aimed it right at her. I didn't want to shoot God. I didn't even want to think about pulling the trigger. But Jackie, my loyal dog, lunged at her. His growl was like nothing I'd ever heard before. It was guttural, desperate, almost pleading. And then whatever that thing was, whatever had taken my cat, it turned and ran. But it didn't run like a cat. It moved like a toddler taking its first steps, jerking awkwardly, stumbling away into the trees. It was too wrong. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next. I kept every light in the house on, the shadows too much for me to handle in the dark. Jackie never left my side, not even to eat. He wouldn't go near the door, and he wouldn't go outside. I don't know what came back that morning, but I know it wasn't her. It wasn't Olive. The eyes, they weren't the same. The soul in them is gone. It's been almost 7 months now, and I haven't seen her since. Every night, I still see their eyes, haunted by the memory of her glowing eyes out there at the edge of the trees. That twisted thing still echoes in my mind. I go out looking for her sometimes, but Jackie, he won't let me. He won't let me go far into the woods anymore. If I try, he goes crazy like he knows something. I don't know what happened to her, but whatever I saw that day, it wasn't my baby. It wasn't Olive. Wherever she is, I pray she's okay. If anyone can help me understand what I saw, whether it was a skinwalker or something else, I don't know. I'd appreciate it. I just want my baby back. Thanks for taking the time to listen. Midnight Confessions, I love your videos. I've always loved horror, but I'm too scared to watch horror movies. Your videos give me that chilling thrill without making me feel like I'm about to die of fear, but what I'm about to tell you isn't really a horror story. I'm an atheist, I don't believe in ghosts or spirits or anything like that, but after what I saw, let's just say it's making me question everything I thought I knew. That's all for this story for now. We'll continue our journey into the strange and unsettling in the next one, so stick around. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.